What's going on with you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You know who it is. It's your boy, John Mike from down here at Dynamics Music. And today we're going to be doing a quick review of the Korg Module app for the iPad. I think this is an amazing app that really showcases the capabilities of using your iPad as an instrument, just point blank in live performance or in live situations or at church services or whatever the case may be. I think this is excellent. So what we're going to do now is talk about what is needed to make this app work. And first of all, what you're going to need, of course, is an iPad. Secondly, you're going to need to download the app, which is right now going for $29 in the App Store, and that's part of their introductory promotion. And it's going to last until December the 11th, 2014. So if you're watching this video after that time, then you're probably looking at the regular price, I think somewhere around 39 bucks. They also, right now, as part of the promotion, are offering two packs: the Synthology Ivory Mobile Grand and the Whirly Electric Piano. The Whirly Electric Piano is free as a free in-app purchase for right now, but the Synthology Mobile Grand is $19.99, and that will be going up, and this will be not free after those promotional times. So back to what we need to make this work. First of all, you're going to need a um, camera connection kit by Apple. I think this runs about 30 bucks or so. You can find them at Best Buy. You can get them at the Apple Store. I got mine at Best Buy. And it allows you to plug USB device to your iPad. So you would take that and just plug that in, and it recognizes that you have connected the keyboard or what have you. And then secondly, you'll need something to output the audio from your iPad. Now, for this case, I'm using just a standard 1/8 inch cord that's going out, and it's actually going into my mixer on my desk here. But I used it at church, and I was able to plug it into my amplifier and get adequate sound from it. But either way, you're going to need a 1/8 inch connection, which can be gotten, Radio Shack or anywhere like that. You also could get an adapter similar to this. It's just a regular kind of big to small 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch adapter that allow you to plug a regular patch cord into your iPad and then be able to run that into your amplifier. And that's basically how you can hook it up. Okay, now that we've talked about how to set things up, let's look at the interface of the app. The interface of the app is pretty basic. It's not anything complicated or anything. They have different modules that give you different on-screen parameters. So this is the piano module part of the app that has your EQ there. They have release time, and then this middle knob right here is a layer or a damper volume, and then you have the master output level. They change and vary from each module. So if I go to the electric piano module, I'm going to get different and pick an EP. I'm going to get a whole different interface. As you can see here, I have different other parameters from tremolo to drive to output level to low and high. If I jump over here and go to the organ and pick an organ patch, then I get a whole nother setup with Leslie speed and vibrato and chorus and overdrive and things of that nature and so on. They also have one for the clavi or clave or however you say it. They have an interface for that. They also have an interface for the strings and brass and synth. They all have the same interface, which is another module, which looks kind of like the Korg keyboards, so to speak, as you can see here. So that's pretty much the interface, the main interface of the keyboard. Over here in this section, you have what they call a modulation effect, which are different things like a EQ or low pass filter, compressor, band pass, and different things like that. You have a slew of just onboard effects that you can add to any of your sounds. You also have a reverb, an ambient effect like a reverb or delay, tape echo. There are different types of things that you can kind of play with, and you can adjust these parameters here just by tapping on the screen and moving it with your finger to give you more reverb or less reverb or whatever the case may be. All right. Second, over here we have the patch selector. By tapping anywhere on this gray strip, whether it's category or program, you're going to get the patch selector, which is going to give you everything in categories from electric piano to acoustic piano, organ, so on and so forth. And you can just select the different sounds just by clicking on them, and they change on the keyboard or what have you accordingly. You can also audition sound just by pressing phrase one and so on and so forth. And that's pretty much the patch selection section of it. Up here, we have basically your transport and settings and different things like that. Like you have settings where you can you can scan for Bluetooth MIDI, which that is awesome, I believe. And we're going to get into some of that in a later video. Stereo and mono, you can choose between that. And if you want to turn the key animation off, you can get more info, look at other apps they have. You can adjust the velocity curve if you're dealing with a different type of controller that has a different type of feel. You can adjust your feel, whether you're on a more synthy, want a more synthy feel, or if you want a more heavy feel. You can play any standard MIDI file just by clicking there. You can record in your performance entirely, which I think is awesome. And then you have the ability to be able to upload these files that you record either to SoundCloud or Dropbox, or you can even email them, which I think is amazing. Also, right here, you have your velocity and your main output volume. So when you play anything, it shows the velocity and it shows how loud it is. And lastly, you have what they call the set list. The set list is similar to what we would look at inside of software like MainStage, where you can set up your patches on a song-to-song basis. So, for instance, you could do myriad of things with this. You can add in, say, like a PDF score of your sheet music and put it in right there and be able to read your sheet music right off the screen. You can add different notes to your song, maybe what key it's in. You can maybe even put lyrics in right there, whatever the case may be. You could add a photo from your library, or you can even snap a picture, say, of a lead sheet or something that you want to have in this area. You could put it whatever you want inside that area. You can put it right there. You also can switch through your sounds quite quickly just by tapping the screen on whatever patch, and you can add a new patch just by pressing the plus button, and then you can go back to the module section and change and put whatever sound you want on there. So I think that is just amazing to be able to set your patches up song on a song by song place, or just using it as a place to be able to collect your favorite patches. You can also import songs from your iTunes library, which is helpful if you want to use it to, say, run backing tracks like stems or what have you. Of course, they would have to already be mixed and be in the form of an MP3 file or MP3 file or what have you, just already together. You couldn't import individual tracks and be able to mix the volumes on them, but you could put a pre-mixed track in, or as we do as gospel musicians, which I like to do, is import a click track. So you could add that in right quickly and be able to press play down here, and the click track would play. Now, the only drawback I found to this is that you cannot loop a sound or a click or what have you, or a loop or what have you. You just have to kind of have it like I did with this. I made it 7 minutes long, so I know that it's going to keep going no matter what, and then it'll just keep going till I stop it. They have a marker here that you can use, and I'm assuming that it's used for when you want to kind of learn a song or what have you, because it's not really useful for anything other than that, unless you just want to find a random place and be able to just jump to it by pressing this little flag. So other than that, it's not really useful. Now, one thing that is useful is you can speed up and slow down your track. So if you need to slow it down, say 3/4, or speed it up, or just slow it all the way. Of course, the slower you get, the more artifacts you're going to hear in that. So that can be semi-useful if you just need to slow down something a little bit or speed it up a little bit. Or if you just want to use it as a way of learning songs. I think that's absolutely amazing way to do it. So now I'm just going to demo a few of these sounds, and I'm going to get out you guys' way. So let's take a listen to this. This is the Ivory Grand Plus synth pad. It's one of my favorite sounds I found on here. Take a listen to it. nice and rich sound. Something that I want to point out as well about this is that little damper layer level thing. You can use this on sounds like that to control the volume of the layer. So say if I want to bring the layer in, start out with a regular piano, say this. Then bring my layer in. Increase the volume. Whatever the case may be can be done all from that. Whenever you have a layer sound, it could be done easily, adjusted easily from right here on that little line right there. So that's just a little bit of knowledge there on that. Here's the EP, Natural Read from, this is a part of the Worldly upgrade that you get for free now. I'm an EP guy, so I just love the way these EPs sound. You got a clavi. I mean, you got the full organ. The other thing to point out about the organ is you can switch the Leslie speed just by hitting the foot pedal, the sustain pedal. See, I'm not an organ player, so I can't really do this whole section justice and play it like an organ player will probably want to hear it. You have like different patches like these strings. You have a nice octave type brass. You have a nice poly brass synth type. This is the natural grand. These are just some other ones. Dark grand. I kind of like this one. I like mellow grand type sounds. One other feature that I want to show you guys is the inner app audio feature that they have. So you can use this app in conjunction with other apps like Garageband or different things like that to record. So let's say I'm going to go up here to my EP and I'm going to pull that open. This app runs in the background, so you can also layer this with other apps like maybe Sample Tank or Neo Soul Keys or whatever the case may be and come up with your own little layers. So I could open up an app like GarageBand here, and inside GarageBand, I could easily, let's go and create a new song here. And I could go over here and grab the Korg module. And then here inside of the module, I could actually record straight into GarageBand right from this app just by pressing record. Then be able to play it back. Then I can go into GarageBand. And then there's my file that I just recorded right there in GarageBand. And I could build a whole set. I can create my own stems, build my own backing tracks right here on my iPad. So the big question is who is this for? What is this app useful for? What can I ideally do with an app like this? And the answer to that question is real simple. It's for guys kind of like me who just want to use have a mobile rig set up to where they can be able to go to a second church service in the afternoon program and be able to bring my iPad and my controller in, or just, be able to use it for like weddings or banquets or different little gigs like that. It's real attractive to me, and I think that's what I'm mainly going to be using it for. It's also stable enough, I believe, honestly, to use at a church service if you wanted to use this as your main keys. If you're running a small worship set, you're just a regular, two-piece band, just you and a drummer. I don't see why this wouldn't be a viable option for you to actually use. It has some really great, usable, nice sounding sounds in it that could easily get you through a church service or just a simple performance. Um, it's also could be used for a guy that just wants to utilize the layers in it, maybe connecting his iPad to his keyboard, his regular keyboard, his Kronos or his Motif or any other keyboard, and just use it to add some layers. Maybe use it as a second keyboard for doing aux keys and colors and different things of that nature. It's an amazing solution, I think, for anything you want to use it for, whether it's performance or just using it to create some different stuff inside of GarageBand and making your iPad more of a recording, studio type feel that you can, kind of do with it. But anyway, that's my take on it. I don't want to waste any more of you guys' time. Thank you for taking out time of your day to just watch this video. And I hope I blessed you with some of this information. So you know how we do: comment, subscribe, tweet this video, Facebook this video, do all that good stuff, and holla at your boy.